The Trumpet Daily Update from Jerusalem.
Hello again, this is Stephen Flurry reporting from Jerusalem. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is using speeches, interviews, and meetings to raise awareness about Iran's worldwide terror campaign. Over the last 2 years, Iran has stepped up its acts of terrorism against Israel and the West, as the Washington Post editorialized on Friday, using the territory of countries across the world, working sometimes through proxies like Lebanon's Hezbollah, and sometimes with its own forces. Tehran has been intentionally targeting not just diplomats of enemies such as Israel and Saudi Arabia, but also civilians. And Netanyahu, for one, adamantly maintains that Iran should be held responsible for these crimes. Citing recent attacks, including the bombing of a bus carrying Israeli tourists in Bulgaria and a similar failed attempt in Cyprus, Netanyahu told Fox News on Sunday, "It's the same modus operandi. It's them," speaking of Iran, "it's them, and we know it." The most recent failed attempt in Cyprus led to the capture of an admitted Hezbollah operative who was attempting to carry out an attack similar to the one that succeeded last week in Bulgaria. Now that alone says a lot about who was behind the Bulgaria bombing. Added to that, Netanyahu said, Israeli intelligence has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that Iran was behind the Bulgaria blast. "Here I'm not surmising," he said in his interview. "I'm giving you something that I know as the Prime Minister of Israel, because I know, based on absolutely rock-solid intelligence, this is Hezbollah, and this is something that Iran knows about very, very well." The Bulgaria bombing, incidentally, was the 9th terrorist plot that's been blamed on Iran just this year alone. It's the 3rd attack in the month of July. In all of these attacks over the last year, in all of these attacks, or the attempted attacks, 5 Iranians and 2 Hezbollah operatives have been captured. "It's them, we know it," said Netanyahu. By using terrorist proxies, Netanyahu told Fox News, Iran is able to conceal its violent agenda. But it's time for the world to force Iran to take responsibility for its acts of terror. That's what he said again during that interview. He went on to say, "It's very brazen. How can Iran be doing this and getting away with murder, literally? It's because nobody names and shames them. They're getting away with murder." And really, it's not just because nobody names them or calls them out. It's really much, much worse than that. What we're witnessing, as my father commented after President Obama's Cairo speech in 2009, what we're witnessing is a reenactment of the 1930s between Chamberlain and Hitler, when Chamberlain tried to negotiate with a murderer. He tried to negotiate with a killer, a mass murderer. Now, Daniel 11 and verse 40 reveals the nature of Iran's radical Islamist agenda. It says there, just at the beginning of the verse, "And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him." Push, note that word. That has been Iran's pattern. They've consistently pushed and provoked either Israel or the West, the United States. Until it's confronted head on, then we should expect that to continue. In fact, the Bible says that it will until this spectacular clash that Daniel 11 speaks of. It will continue. Now, for much, much more on this, be sure to download the King of the South booklet at thetrumpet.com. This is Stephen Flurry reporting to you from Jerusalem.